forgotten mansion deep in a dismal swampland, a scientist crazed by his lust for revenge repairs the last detail of a diabolical death plan.
A few moments ago, fate chose a man, a harmless, good-natured man. Look at him now. He's no longer human. He's a wolf, snarling, ferocious, lusting for the kill.
The beast strikes swiftly, the first of 4 violent, fiendish murders. Into this crime-ridden situation, a reporter finds the biggest story of his career.
What should make a gory enough story for your paper? This is more than just a story to me. He was my friend.
Joined by the girl he loves, these two follow the gruesome trail of the mad monster. Every lead proves false. Then, one night, a strange, ominous power draws this girl to a rendezvous with death.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound, the infant of Krypton is now the man of steel, Superman. To best be in a position to use his amazing powers in a never-ending battle for truth and justice, Superman has assumed the disguise of Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper.
Kent, I want to see you. Just received another threatening note.
Okay, Mr. White.
Lois, another note from the mad scientist.
Coming in, Chief.
Now listen to this warning. He plans to strike tonight. Beware, you fools. My electrothanasia ray strikes tonight at 12. Total destruction will come to those who laughed at me and failed to heed my warnings. Beware. I strike at midnight. This nut may prove dangerous. Kent, you help Lois follow up her lead. She may have an angle on this thing.
Yes, sir.
But, Chief, I'd like the chance to crack the story on my own.
No.
Thanks, Chief.
But, Lois... Chief, don't you think that's a dangerous mission?
Come.
water for the...
So, you want a story? I'll give you the greatest story of destruction the world has ever known. How is that for a story, Miss Lane?
True to his threat, the mad scientist, whose warnings have held the city in a grip of terror, went on his rampage of destruction on the stroke of midnight. The deadly impact of his mysterious ray smashed the famous Tower Bridge, hurling cars and pedestrians into the river below. The police have warned everyone to remain in their homes.
This looks like a job for Superman.
It's Superman! I don't believe it! He isn't human!
Congratulations, Lois. That was a great scoop.
Yes, Chief, thanks to Superman.
Yeah, this is Peter Lorre speaking.
I couldn't resist the temptation to call you. I just read of your new picture that you're to make.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Thanks for your interest.
Oh, I thought you were magnificent in M. And just the other night I saw your new picture, The Man Who Knew Too Much. What character are you going to play in?
Oh, it's the most unusual story. You know, it's a great love drama. I am to be a half-mad scientist. I, a poor peasant, have conquered science. Why can't I conquer love? He shall be shut up when it's I who am mad. But nobody knows that. Yes. Each man kills the thing he loves.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream Stream. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friends, Mr. Evan Sink.
Good evening.
And Mr. Fresh Rogan.
What's poppin', homies?
What is poppin', homies? As you can see, Evan is joining us remotely tonight, which is, you know, it's a little different. But Evan's out of precaution because Evan has been feeling a little under the weather recently. So we send our best wishes, well wishes over to Evan. Hopefully it's a speedy recovery for you. It's the season right now, man. Hopefully it's not like a serious.
Tis the sneezing.
Yeah, that's, isn't it though? My goodness. Well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. You know, another wonderful Friday night for some public domain horror, and it's middle of October. We're getting a middle of October. What am I saying? Middle of November, almost like getting towards the late side of November, and man, this time keeps on slipping, right? That's how it feels. It's been going by way too fast. This is, yeah, boo. I mean, I can't believe we're already at the end of November, like getting close to the end of November. I mean, we're only two episodes.
Thanksgiving is next week, dude.
Thanksgiving is next week. I'll go ahead and say we will be off next week. We will not be doing a mini-sode or a regular episode. We're gonna be chilling, enjoying the holidays. Hopefully everybody else is, and you can go catch.
So be thankful for that.
Be thankful, and if you want to watch, if you want some real turkey for your Thanksgiving, go check out some of our past episodes on our YouTube page, because we got some real turkeys on there that we've watched before that would really hit the spot for your Thanksgiving holiday. I mean, that's the beauty of public domain horror. You get the good, you get the bad, and everything in between. It's not so simple as good and bad. That's what we've learned so far. We're in the second episode of season 4. That's the thing. I mean, we're already coming up on the end of this year, and we're only 2 episodes into season 4. So it's an interesting time. What a time to be alive, right? So this is your classic mad scientist movie that we're going to get tonight. It is The Monster Maker, 1944, from a studio called PRC. We've seen a lot of movies from them, but we're going back to Poverty Row. So taking it back this week, walking it back. So
we're really slumming it. Poverty Row.
Seriously, that's actually a good way to put it. I mean, we got so much of it to choose from that we got to make sure that we're knocking them out every season. We got a quota of our Poverty Row movies.
Why aren't more horror movies coming out of Skid Row?
Well, that's a great question. I got to imagine that horror movies out of Skid Row might be a little harder to follow. Might be a little bit more for like an outsider art crowd. Might not be easy for the mainstream to. Might not be something they can handle. Just like we're not the mainstream.
Not like this one.
Yeah, this is not the mainstream. We're not the we don't do things mainstream here, as we touched on in our mini-sode earlier this week. We're rebels here. And,
I thought Friday was the mainstream.
It technically is, but then Fresh reminded us how he's mainstream, not mainstream. So that's right. We're rebels.
This is the mainstream. Not the mainstream.
There it is. Thanks for the clarification, Fresh. Yeah. So
what I'm here for.
Yeah, I mean that's I appreciate that you can provide the clarity. So yeah, so Poverty Row, Skid Row. I'd like to see a Skid Row horror film. Certainly would be shocking, to say the least. But no, we got to settle for Poverty Row tonight. And this is a fun kind of, I shouldn't say fun. It's actually like the book, which I don't think I have it right beside me, so I can't necessarily show it, but my book on Poverty Row horror movies really maligns this movie, as not maligns it as far as saying it's bad, but more as saying this is just like because of the plot and some of the stuff it does, it's just kind of a nasty movie. It's just kind of mean-spirited. So I guess I can't say that it's fun. It's a little more you gotta, so the other movies that we've seen from PRC are 2 that I think we remember pretty well. The more recent one I think we remember is The Mad Monster, which is the werewolf movie. And then the other one was Dead Men Walk, which we saw back in season 1, which was a vampire movie. And so this is their mad scientist movie. Kind of, you could maybe say their Frankenstein type movie, but it does a lot more weird stuff. So we're gonna unpack it. It's gonna be fun. As always, Evan brings us a wonderful cocktail to pair with the evening's film in a little segment which we call
What were you drinking?
What were we drinking? What are we drinking?
Well, this week we are drinking the definitely real and definitely a good idea cocktail, the Fresh Maker, as we all remember from, I want to say the 80s or 90s, when that commercial came out, the Fresh Maker, Mentos.
That's 90s, right?
Yeah, I think so. So it's occurred to me, it almost sounds like a Wheel of Fortune before and after puzzle answer. It's a rum and Coke and Mentos.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you know it, it was a prize puzzle. Where are we going?
Where are we going?
As we've established, I've been sick all day and I haven't been out.
So you're not
so
doing
I
the
actually do not
cocktail.
have Mentos.
Oh, you don't have Mentos.
I have a
Just
I,
say
I
your
have
name.
I have a rum and cola. I do not have
But
any
no
Mentos.
Well, I
Yeah.
did go out and get some.
I'm doing
and
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect.
I have it all right here.
Do
Yeah.
you Fresh? Do you really?
Yeah, I have it all right here.
No,
I'm ready
you
to go.
fucking you're a liar, Fresh.
Perfect.
So I
Well,
actually I actually do
I also
have it all. So we can kind of do this science experiment together.
Yeah, I'm curious just what would happen.
Well,
Do you
okay,
have
so,
a
yeah.
like a rum and Coke poured?
No, I don't. So that was my thing, is I was going to wait. We're going to go through this step by step because I want to know how you would do it. So I have an empty glass. I have my ice. I have my rum. I have my Coke. So how would you do it? Like, do you even put ice in your glass? Do you put in the rum and the Coke? No ice and then the Mentos? Would you approach this, Evan?
My gut would tell me to just make the rum and Coke normally,
Okay.
and then ice and all, and then after it's all in the glass, you just dump a bunch of Mentos in, and just kind of see what happens.
What a recipe. Dump a bunch of Mentos.
I thought like maybe one or two. You're saying a bunch of Mentos.
Well, I guess it depends on what kind of effect you're seeking.
It's not going to do anything.
Yeah, I think
you don't think it's going to do anything?
You might as well just put them all in there because it's not going to do anything.
I think it has to be Diet Coke.
Yeah, you might.
That doesn't. You're saying it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't work, so you can just put them all in there.
Okay. I think they changed the formula.
Yeah, you should be good. Just add them all, Garrett. Just put them all in there.
I'm gonna start with 5, and then we'll see kind of how it is from there. And I also went out and got the fruit Mentos too. So if I have a second one, and we're trying it. Oh, I didn't do it on camera. Drop my Mentos in. So they're in. Yeah. Nothing.
Is anything happening?
No, absolutely nothing.
Wow.
Not a day. They sunk to the bottom of the glass. I don't know. Oh yeah, you can see it in the camera. It's not catching focus on it. Yeah, it's probably about to be a very minty cola.
Well, how does it taste?
Well, I haven't tried it yet.
You gotta get a shaker and really shake it up.
Yeah, you gotta shake it up, dude.
I'm not shaking this shit up. Oh no, it's all like breaking apart in the drink. That's not good. Well, it's not breaking apart, but it's definitely doing something. Like I can see like bubbles and shit coming up from it for sure. Something's happening in this.
So it is
right
kind of working.
There's some kind of reaction going on right now, but it's certainly not.
Well, there we go.
But you can
rum
actually,
and
I don't
Coke
know
and
if maybe you
Mentos.
can see it. Nah, you can't see it on camera, but it is starting to kind of foam a little bit more around like the top. It's interesting. All right, well, I'm gonna try it. Tell you guys how it goes. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I would laugh if you went to sip it and then it suddenly violently started reacting.
Yeah, like one of those ridiculous internet videos. No, luckily, no. It's no, it's. I feel like I get a little bit of the minty taste in there, but I love a rum and coke anyway, so it's just a good, drink. I even got a taller glass just in case there was any kind of expansion. But nothing. I don't know. Maybe I'm put in too much
poison
rum.
control.
Yeah, needs more Coca-Cola. But pretty good. Pretty good. So
yeah, the poison control is for next week's drink, where it's gonna be what is it, Pop Rocks and cola.
Oh yeah, perfect. Okay. So is the rest of the season you're just mixing different candies with different cocktails? Oh, okay, great. We're insured. They got a life insurance policy out of me, so they're trying to kill me in the course of the show, so it counts as a an insurance cash that insurance policy. We'll see if he's successful.
Right. All I need is plausible deniability.
Right, exactly. Woo. Yeah, I put way too much rum in here. All right. So yeah, this is pretty good. We'll see as it goes along if those Mentos if the flavor, more of a flavor, just a minty aftertaste starts to kick in. Who knows? Maybe that won't be good, but I hope it is. I mean, could be worse. God, I'm trying to think of all the cocktails that we've paired with all the movies we've seen so far. I know we've had some.
What's the worst one?
Yeah, what's the worst one? Because I know I've had some ones that I've just like, what? I mean, not even like that bad, but it's not great. Like
ones that were like maybe accidentally heavy on lemon juice.
Yeah, I feel like that definitely. We've gotten into that trap before. That's, that happens. Whatever the one. What did we do? Didn't we do one last season that was just like, ginger ale and banana liqueur or something? Or it was like, there was something that was just like 2 ingredients and it was just like, I don't know, it was interesting.
I think it was white wine and beer. I think that was the one.
No, we haven't done that yet. But
I think it was just white wine with a Bud Light in it.
We did one that was cider and beer, and that one was actually pretty good.
That's right. That was good. That was very, very good. Maybe it is the mint that I'm starting to taste in this, and it's not like I thought maybe I put in too much rum, but I think maybe it's just the mints. I don't like mints, but here I am drinking the fresh maker.
Oh yeah, you're totally right. We did it was called the Wasp. It's vodka, banana liqueur, and ginger ale.
Yeah, that was just, I don't know about that one.
Not our cup of tea.
They didn't mix, the ingredients didn't mix well. It was just yeah. But no, I love a rum and coke, so even with the mints, it's still should tide me over pretty well during this rather interesting movie. Again, the Monster Maker.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, no, Monster Maker Fresh Maker. It's not named after Fresh Rogan. It's named after the movie. So no confusion there, hopefully.
Still suing, by the way.
He'll see you in court, Evan. So I hope you have a good lawyer. So we'll see how that legal drama plays out.
Oh God.
Oh no. Oh God. What?
Oh no.
No, we can't do that. Everclear and chocolate milk. I think that's gonna be a big fat
so
no
good.
from me.
Such a good mix. Such a good mix.
Everclear
Sounds like fight milk.
Yeah, it does. It just sounds like it's something
You just
that
eat some raw eggs and you've got chocolate fight milk.
I feel like just as soon as you combine those two ingredients, it's gonna curdle. It's just, how does that even? It's not, does not sound appetizing at all.
So good, dude. So good.
Have you had that before, Fresh?
I actually have had that before.
Is it good?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Wow.
I think it works because most chocolate milk now isn't actually milk.
Wow.
Really?
It's like chocolate drink, like Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it doesn't do any dairy weirdness. It just tastes like chocolate liquor.
God.
Dang.
That is...
It's better than it sounds, I promise. But I love bringing it up because it sounds so gross.
It sounds
absurd.
Gross. I wouldn't have expected it to be good, but I guess Fresh has proved us wrong. Gonna have to try it. Hopefully not anytime soon, because that'd be a rough night for me. Yeah, no, not next week, because we're gonna be off. But yeah, week after that, we'll
you can still drink it next week.
Yeah. I just do. You have the family over for Thanksgiving.
That's the drink.
You're drinking Everclear and chocolate milk.
The drink to get you through Thanksgiving. Right. It's perfect.
Exactly, yeah.
Flip the table over, ruin Thanksgiving. Hell yeah.
All fueled by Everclear
Start saying,
and chocolate
I'm the
milk.
king of this house.
Who wants to fight me for it? And you
take your shirt off.
Yeah. Start running around. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Yeah. We'll see. We'll report back after the holidays. We'll tell you how terrified our families are.
We'll tell you what the damages are.
Yeah, once we break into the Everclear and chocolate milk, there's really no telling. So that'll be quite an adventure. And you know what else is about to be quite an adventure? Tonight's movie.
What a segue.
What a segue, right? Yeah, no, terrible. No, we are getting ready to get into tonight's movie. It's interesting. Again, a lot of the other horror movies at this time from this studio are more, it deals with the supernatural or superstitions or legends, lore, stuff from literature. This is a little more like grounded than that. So I think it's, because it's a mad scientist movie, you could kind of maybe classify it almost as a little bit of sci-fi, the way that the horror is grounded. But they still throw in a familiar monster for good measure, which we'll see. We'll see whenever it pops up. But yeah, this is I'm not gonna give away kind of what the main gimmick, what the monster is created by in this movie. We'll kind of unpack it as the movie goes.
Already looked it up.
But
yeah, I know what it is.
But it's just interesting to kind of build a whole movie around it. But we'll kind of get into why this particular disease that the movie delves into was apparently such a hot topic in the movies in the late to mid to late 1940s. Yeah, kind of weird, but we'll unpack it.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this. I think if you boys have it queued up.
I got it.
I do have it.
I actually have it queued up 6 seconds ahead of you.
Oh, no, you don't. You bitch. All right. Well, so Fresh is going to spoil the movie for us the whole time, but we'll get through it together. We're gonna go ahead and
I'll
get
be
into
6 seconds ahead of all of you. I'll let you know.
He's you can't see it, but he's twirling his evil mustache right now. Yeah. No, right. It's very true. I'm not doing the robot right now, so it's, very limited. So, yeah, we're about to get into it. There's not any big horror guys in this. Just right before we get into it, I just want to mention that no big horror guys. So, if you were hoping for a Lugosi or a Karloff, we're getting more second-rate bargain bin.
So at the end, he wakes up and it's all a dream. So.
Oh, great! Thanks for the spoiler, Fresh. All right, perfect. Well, on that note,
no worries.
With that spoiler, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting beginning of the Monster Maker right now. I almost said the Mad Monster for like the 100th time.
No, I've seen that one already.
Confusing these two damn things. But yeah, J. Carrol Naish and Ralph Morgan, people who've seen a lot of old horror movies will know those names, but they're not necessarily big horror names, but they both actually appeared in a fair amount of horror movies during this time. Yeah, the Just a Dream thing is a cliche, S-Sync, I would agree.
Wakes up. Wait, I hope I didn't accidentally actually spoil it. I just say that about every movie.
So I haven't seen this before, or I've seen like the beginning and bits of the beginning, but I never pay attention through to the end. So
he's not saying no.
He's really trying not to say no.
People playing the piano like this it's so crazy to me.
It is wild. You gotta love the talent of a piano player, man. Whole other level.
Of pianist.
Pianist, yeah.
This guy's like 8 feet tall. He's not even looking, dude. Effortlessly flexing on everyone in the fucking auditorium.
Watch, everybody's looking at me right now.
None of y'all can do this.
Really, dude? When I'm right here? She looks so pissed.
Awkward.
Oh, will you take a seat with me? Why, of course, dude.
Got him.
Will you trade seats with me? This guy keeps staring at me.
To make an awkward situation even more awkward.
What's the matter? Nothing, but that man in the next box keeps staring at me.
Yo, you got a problem, bro? Why are you looking at my girl? Come on, this guy. What is he doing? He's missing a real opportunity.
Nobody looks at the lady but me.
That's not stock footage at all.
All right. I love when stock footage looks way too fast.
Right, yeah, like the pace of everybody clapping is just obviously off.
I must know who she is. That can do no good. The dead have no place among the living.
I shall be the judge of that.
Really, Mr. Lawrence, for a man your age, you're certainly in the pink.
I have to be. Most people don't know, but giving a piano recital requires the stamina of a marathon runner.
That's how I'm trying to be.
I better give my right forearm what was another going over. Feel a slight cramp in my index finger.
I want to have the body of a 60-year-old penis.
Hello, darling. Hi, Bob. How am I doing?
Marvelously. I don't believe I've ever heard you in better form.
That's because you're home from school, my dear. I was playing for you tonight. Oh, am I glad this engagement ends my concert tour. Now I can relax, wear old clothes, and let my beard grow.
And devote some time
I
to your
hear
daughter.
that. Well, I'm not growing a beard right now. Season of the stash.
Don't bite the piano that feeds you, my darling.
Are you growing out your stash, or are you just letting it
I mean, I
stay
trim
the same
it.
length?
It's kind of staying the same.
This gentleman would like a minute with Mr. Lawrence.
Just a moment. Doctor,
What is
your
beef
Markoff
oven?
is waiting
What
to
is
see
this
you.
video? Beef oven? Something?
Wow, what a great
Beef
card.
Oven, Mozart,
Tell him to write me for an appointment.
Mozart.
Bob, I've got a few minutes. Let him come in. Am I dressing down?
Batch.
Dude, I love Batch.
Batch.
Dude, and Choppin'.
Johann.
Dressing, Mr. Anthony Lawrence.
Johann Sebastian
I
Batch.
should like to apologize to this charming young
And
lady
Handel.
for my seeming rudeness. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but go ahead. This is my daughter, Patricia.
Hiding.
Please forgive me, young lady, for staring so rudely at you, but I really could not help it. Seeing you tonight was quite a shock because you are the living image of my wife, Lenore, as she looked at the time we were married. She was taken away from me under very tragic circumstances.
I understand. I accept your apology.
Thank you.
You look just like a lady who gruesomely died last year.
Ah. So this is a weird thing. They try to give him this eye shot like he's a Lugosi.
Should always remain
He's not even a Zucco.
But his eyes.
Yeah,
his eyes
he's
aren't
not.
Lugosi eyes.
So nice to have met you.
Yeah, J. Carrol Naish is or I don't know if it's Nash or it's spelled Naish. He's Irish, but he played a lot of different ethnicities. He was a character actor who played a lot of,
Funny people, these foreigners.
you know,
You suppose Pat really resembles
foreigners, as that guy just said.
He's right. That cock and bull story was old in Caesar's day. The nerve of the guy.
My dear boy, you've got to get used to other men admiring Pat. She's a very beautiful girl.
There's a difference between admiring and
All right.
By the way he stared at me, he gave me the jitters.
You'll find him in the next
There's a
box.
difference
Did you
between
stay
admiring and
around?
No, I
ogling.
won't. We're going to hear the rest of this concert from backstage.
Then I'll have to get you wrapped. You left it
Yeah,
alone.
that's a lesson that there are a few people can learn out there.
Get ready.
Yeah, you oglers.
All you
Stop
oglers
it.
out there.
Calling out all you oglers. We got any oglers in the crowd?
Think to make a favorable impression? Temporarily, yes. But there will be many opportunities in the future. Besides, the doorman was not averse to accepting a little gratuity.
I like how this is like a private box, but there's like two other people you don't
Right
know.
behind them. Yeah.
Right.
I've risked my life for you. I've kept your secret all these
Not much
years.
privacy.
It's like first class on an airplane. Like you're still around a lot of people, but
Because of your knowledge of my work, I need you as an
Yeah, they have like a little
You
curtain
have
thing that
never
you can
met
see
anything
through
more,
that.
and you never shall. Keep that in mind.
Flowers for Miss Lawrence.
This is cash on delivery, pal.
COD.
do you take master charge?
Master charge. First off, Master Charge hasn't been a thing in 30 years.
God, it's so weird.
Flowers, flowers, flowers. Morning, noon, and night. The man must be crazy. Keeps on, I'll hate the sight of him. Yeah, Williams, take those to the children's hospital.
Right away, miss.
What did she say? Take those to the where? The children's hospital?
To the children's hospital?
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't want them.
Yeah, but what are the sick kids
her
gonna do with
butler's
her
gonna walk to the children's
secondhand
hospital.
flowers? What the hell? That's fucked
Same
up.
thing she's gonna do with them, stare at them.
I guess.
Wow. Like, you don't really do anything with flowers anyway.
You don't eat them?
Yeah, but
depends on the flower.
Sick kids.
Yo, shout out the boys.
Shout out Golden Age Classics. See, that's how I knew the
Fallen
people-
Comrade.
The Fallen Comrade, yes. Pour one out for Golden Age Classics, one of our old partners who they may come back at the end of the year like doing just Blu-rays. They're like their YouTube channel is shot, but I think they're gonna try to.
They're getting out of the YouTube game.
Well, they were hoping to get revenue from YouTube to kind of help with their Patreon and with their doing. They were going to do Blu-rays anyway, but I think they may just transition. I think they've been trying to transition to just Blu-rays, but nobody's contacted me since they first went down. But I found this, and we're watching it because the other copies are not this good looking.
I shall bear the reptile in his den.
Oh, we're watching it.
Wait, was I supposed to hit play on my end?
What, you didn't?
What, wait, are we supposed to be watching it right now?
Are we not watching the Superman cartoon?
My stream's lagging behind a little bit. I'm still seeing the trailers.
Sorry, I stepped away for some Everclear and chocolate milk. Where are we?
I will see him in a few moments. Oh, and Maxine.
You gotta be in a fuck it mindset to drink it, but it's so good.
And it requires constant watching.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. Anytime you're drinking Everclear, which is basically just rubbing alcohol.
So good.
Y'all, yeah, and I'll need y'all to kind of help me out with where the break is at. I don't think it's going to be exactly on the time I have on the outline because this is a different copy than what I made the outline on. But
cut to lab 2130.
Cut to lab.
So it'll be around there.
It'll be around there. I'll know what the cut is, but I just don't know if it'll be that same time or not. So this guy right here playing the piano impresario is the brother of the guy who played the Wizard of Oz in The Wizard of Oz. Fun fact.
Oh.
Oh my god, it's a real gorilla.
Oh no. Is that Bela Lugosi in a costume?
Yep. I mean, what is one of these Poverty Row movies without a gorilla? You know, I mean...
You didn't tell me this was a gorilla movie.
I didn't know it was a gorilla movie until, like, right after I, like, started looking stuff up about it. So, yeah, we're getting a gorilla movie in. Although the gorilla is not the main monster.
Gorilla.
The gorilla is just window dressing.
He's always hated me, and I'm deathly afraid of him. Oh, don't be a fool. He's perfectly safe in that cage.
It's misdirection. They want you to think it's the gorilla.
Besides, he's very essential to my work.
Oh my god. Look at those pants.
Those are some pants.
All the way up to his nipples.
Watch it closely. See that it continues to boil, but very slowly.
They're high-waisted, okay?
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. More like high-breasted
I'm
pants.
also high-waisted.
They're high-breasted pants is what they are.
Back then, when they fit you for pants, they measure your breast.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, they have to get your chest measurement.
Right.
Hey, what are you doing measuring my chest with this tape measure?
Won't you sit down? I'll remain standing if you don't mind. Oh, as you wish.
They'll say, what, have you never worn pants before?
I've come here in regard to my daughter Patricia. Ah, yes, a lovely young woman. And that's beside the point. She doesn't welcome your attentions. I'm forced to ask you to stop annoying her. I'm afraid you're being very insulting. Your persistence has left me no other choice. I've already explained my deep interest in your daughter. Perhaps you thought I was lying. Did you look at this picture? What if there is a resemblance? That doesn't give you the privilege of annoying her. But I am going to
You
marry
can't
her.
be a creep to my daughter just because she looks like your dead wife?
I'm amazed at your conceit. I'm warning you, Dr. Markoff. Unless you stop annoying my daughter, I shall call the police. Stop not so fast.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh. It's Clue.
Yep, classic.
Candlestick.
In the parlor.
By the gorilla cage. With the candlestick.
I thought he was like looting the body for a second.
Got any watch? Got any change?
Yeah, what do you got on you?
Got any bills?
Got any Mentos? Any mints?
My breath has just been smelling awful all day. I had some Italian food last night, and I just can't get the smell of garlic off my breath.
Is she observing what happens when you heat whatever that is? She's just staring at the Bunsen burner.
So this guy's just got a jar of acromegaly sitting over here, and acromegaly is a...
I do not know what that is.
It is a glandular disorder. It's basically excess GH, and it causes enlargement of the hands, feet, and face.
And he
just has a jar of
extracted this
it.
and concentrated
Yes.
it.
A jar of
Great.
acromegaly. This guy's
What's she
fucking-
supposed to be doing?
She's just toiling away over at the Bunsen burner. You know how it is.
Working hard over here.
She's doing lab stuff.
Yeah, Evan knows.
Right,
Evan knows
she's
exactly what she's
pretending.
doing.
She's looking like she's busy.
He doesn't want to be asked to do anything.
Astute observation.
To be fair, a big part of doing lab stuff is just standing around waiting for stuff to, kind of run its course.
She's not even like texting or anything. She's just sitting there staring at it.
Pardon me, Miss Lawrence. Dr. Markoff's on the telephone for you.
Dr. Markoff? Oh, say I'm not in.
But he says it's important. He must talk to you concerning your father.
My father? I'll talk to him.
Yeah, you will. Now you'll talk to him.
Hello?
Yeah,
Yes, Miss
the
Larson?
mint is definitely dominating the bottom of this drink right now, man.
You're
Tasting
getting down into the
getting a
minty.
lot of mint right now. I put in some more as I was getting like about halfway through. I put in some more.
Is he very ill?
It's very minty right now.
However, scarcely able to drive his own car. Of course, I could keep him here, or if you wish, I could call an ambulance.
Ambulance? Oh, no, I'll be right there. Where is it?
Ambulance? No, I can't afford that. I'll be right there.
I thought about adding some like mint schnapps to mine, but I decided I was just not going to do that.
Do it. Do it.
Well, I only have enough cola for the one drink.
Oh. Well, you just mix some rum and some schnapps and you'll be all set.
Right, yeah, I'll leave it out overnight so that whenever well, it'll be ready when I get more cola tomorrow.
Right. Very slowly.
Hello.
Got out the boys.
Nobody having witnessed our encounter.
Their YouTube page doesn't exist, but you can still go to their website.
Of course, if you desire to say something.
You can look at all the thumbnails, but you can't actually click anything.
Violence, and I was forced to protect myself. It is simply a case of your word against mine.
But you can pretend to, which is almost as good.
Right.
Is this Dr. Markoff's residence?
Yes. Are you Miss Lawrence?
So then that guy, that's Glenn Strange, who played the werewolf in The Mad Monster. I think his name was Pedro or Petro or something like that.
Father.
Hey, you know, I learned something recently.
What? Enlighten us.
Are you guys aware that a werewolf can kill a vampire?
I didn't know this.
Steve.
Are you?
Me neither. But according to our buddy Mr. Warnock,
yeah, a
certain candidate,
a certain Senate candidate may or may not have expounded on the eternal struggle between vampires and werewolves.
Well, if you notice him acting strange,
we know where he stands now on that pressing issue. Which would he rather be, a vampire or a werewolf?
I mean, it's good to know because I'm a single issue voter, and that's the issue.
Right? Yeah. That one doesn't come up enough in like the polling and the debates.
Is this
you always
is this a break right there?
Stand.
I think that's a break right there. So that is gonna take us to our first break. So
where you at?
He was just walking in the door of the lab. I don't have a timestamp for you, unfortunately.
I think I'm in the right spot. I got you.
You'll get close enough.
We're good.
I popped the Mento in my mouth, and now I'm like over here chewing it and trying to talk. So, pardon me if
chewing a rum-soaked Mento.
Actually, no. I have these fruit Mentos over here.
It's like you're eating the fruit out of the bottom of the sangria.
When I make my rum and coke with the fruit Mentos, then I'll definitely eat those. I don't know if I'm gonna eat these minty rummy Mentos. We'll see after I finish this one. But so yeah, so far, you know, obviously kind of slow. We haven't gotten to the titular monster that is made yet. I mean, it is, the wheels have been set in motion, you know, and obviously acromegaly is involved, and we'll kind of talk more about that. Like,
he's got a whole jar of it.
Yeah, I got just a whole jar sitting around. Who knew it was that easy to
a gallon of acromegaly?
A drum of acromegaly. You're just producing it in bulk back there, huh? You never know when you might need it. I mean, hey, this is 1944. The war's going on. You make a big batch.
What is she distilling in her lab? I'm looking at her lab. She's distilling something. I think she's making moonshine.
I think
that's probably it.
And you know, it probably is. Why else would you spend so much time on it? You know, work so hard on it. No, I think what that is, and obviously, you know, I'm only picking this up off the context clues, but I think maybe she's probably working on like a cure for acromegaly or something. I feel like if they've got it in the lab, then they're working with it, and so maybe she's like working on some kind of cure for it. I mean, that's just me.
She's working on a cure for gorillas.
I mean, I guess a gorilla is the perfect test subject, you know? You just inject it with the acromegaly and
why is that?
Well, you know, I mean,
yeah, I'd like to hear this logic as well.
We're not going to get into the ethical minefield that is animal testing. We're obviously strongly against it here on the show. And I think that's all that we have to say
Where
about
does
that.
Stream stand on animal testing?
Against, obviously.
I think we should test on all the animals because they don't have feelings.
Okay, again, as we've said many times on many past episodes, Fresh Rogan's feelings do not reflect the values of this program. They're his own opinions. Yada yada yada.
I think the cure for gorillas is to just mow all the forests down.
Oh my god!
I guess extinction is a different kind of cure, huh? I mean, I guess technically.
Well, if you're curing something, it's a disease, right? So if you want to get rid of if you're curing something, you're getting rid of it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The cure for gorillas is to just cut all the trees down, make a lot of paper.
I don't think that's
I think we're getting Fresh's supervillain origin speech.
Right here, where you get to watch it live, where you get to watch him slowly unravel episode after episode. You can track how Fresh becomes the world's greatest supervillain right here every week.
I have the cure for this planet. I'll wipe the entire thing clean.
Blow it up from the inside out. Easy. No one will see it coming.
And then he laughs and twirls his mustache. I mean,
right, yeah, because it's mustache November.
Right.
Do you know every organism reaches equilibrium with its environment except for humans?
Wow.
Do you know that? It never reaches equilibrium with its environment? A virus that needs to be cured.
Oh my god.
All these mints at the bottom of this drink are just, it's so sugary. It's too much.
That's the Matrix plot, by the way.
Nice.
It's the plot to the Matrix.
That's very good. It's very good.
I don't want anyone to think that that's actually my views on anything.
Oh no, we went ahead and clipped it. We went ahead.
Too late.
And we're gonna use it against you.
Oh no, I'm canceled now.
You're right. the emails are pouring in. I'm sorry, you've been canceled.
Thanks a lot, Fresh.
The phone is ringing off the hook. My fax machine is going crazy.
You off the show. Thanks a lot. Yep, our fax machines are.
I keep getting called by Mummy Napkin.
If this was Otis Elevator's calling, it would say Otis Elevator on my caller ID and not Mummy Napkin.
Oh man, oh, I love that. Mummy Napkin. Well, we're about to go to a break. We're gonna get some trailers for some Carrol Naish movies. Again, he's the guy playing the mad scientist in tonight's movie. He was a character actor who played a lot of different ethnicities. Like, that was his thing, even though he's Irish. But he was just always cast as like Italians, or I think sometimes as Native Americans, or I think
he's ethnically ambiguous.
Pretty much, yeah. He had like black curly hair and could just kind of, you know, he pretty much could play whatever. At a time
he could blend right in.
Right. At a well, and at a time where they certainly weren't going to hire people who were actually of whatever race or nationality that they actually needed for, you know, would have been required for the role. It's, oh, what actor does these types of things? And J.
Right.
Carrol Naish like carved out a space for himself doing these kind of roles, and he got, I mean, he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor Academy Award twice for playing those kinds of roles. And you know, he basically, the time he made this was really kind of diving into horror movies. I guess he was kind of hurting for the money, and because it's not like some of these other guys that he started doing them in the 30s. I mean, he really started in the 40s. So the first trailer we're gonna see is for a movie. We've seen this trailer before, but it's called Dr. Renault's Secret, I think it's a weird title. It's from like Fox. It's not like it's not one of the normal horror movies. It's kind of weird, but J. Carrol Naish plays like a hunchback assistant kind of guy to a mad scientist played by George Zucco, who, you know, we know very well. And then the second trailer is for House of Frankenstein, which we've seen that trailer a fair amount too. But he also plays a hunchback in that movie as well, a hunchback assistant to the mad scientist played by Boris Karloff. So it's, you know, he was playing a lot of assistants, like, and a lot of like bit parts in horror movies around this time. So it's kind of funny that in this Poverty Row movie he's playing the mad scientist that would normally be played by a Lugosi or even a Zucco. So it's interesting. It's different. He's a sleazebag. But we'll get more into J. Carrol Naish after the break. I'll get into it. I got some stories about him. He was in the news fairly recently, so I'll talk about that. Yeah, so we're gonna get these two trailers, and then we come back. We're going to get into the exciting middle of The Monster Maker. So stick around. We'll be right back.
You tried to kill Dr. Forbes at the inn last night. No. Don't keep lying to me. For years, I worked to change your appearance, make you talk. Get you in danger, all I've done for the sake of your stupid animal jealousy.
It was the same criminal who tried to kill you at the inn.
But why should anyone want to kill Larry?
Where's Noel? You surely don't suspect him.
I'm going to repay you for betraying me. I'm going to give that brain of yours a new home in the skull of the Frankenstein monster. The jugular vein is severed, not cut, but torn apart as though by powerful teeth.
A werewolf. Last night I killed a man.
You didn't know what you were doing.
But I did. I wanted to kill.
I think they're after Dracula.
And we are back.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, he's back at the right time because we're back. No, you're back at the perfect time. You're back at the perfect time. I poured the rest of my Coca-Cola into my glass without looking, and it happened to fill up just to the very tip of the glass and hasn't spilled over, but it's as to the edge as it could get. So we're like at the cusp of everything right now. We're just like right on the edge. Well, we're doing good. So if you see
good luck mixing that up.
I was gonna say, if you see me pull away completely from the camera, it's to kind of take some of this volume down from this drink without lifting it and probably spilling it all over my room. I really want to avoid that if possible. I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now since I've talked about it. I'm going to take a sip, so pardon me for a second. I still have the mints in there. I never took them out, so can't do the fruity Mentos like I'd planned for my second drink. Just sticking with these minty Mentos.
You could just throw some in there.
I don't want to mix the mint and the fruit. That's just overkill.
Why not?
Too much. We'll see. Maybe if you know, halfway through this drink, if I'm feeling adventurous, we'll see what happens. But yeah, so those were two horror movies with J. Carrol Naish, and he's, you know, he was actually in the news somewhat recently. I get a couple months ago. There's an actor by the name of James Hong, who is 92 years old right now, who people may or may not know. You probably don't know the name, but you'd know him from a lot of stuff. Like, he was the bad guy in Big Trouble in Little China. He's the waiter in that Seinfeld episode where they're waiting for the table and they keep all these shenanigans and hijinks are like playing out, and they're just having to wait for the table. He's like the head waiter. He's what else is he in? He's in Jackie Chan Adventures. He does
Mulan.
He does a lot of voices. This guy, yeah. And the most recent thing that he was in was Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I didn't see, but that was a big hit this past summer. It was a big kind of indie hit, and he played, I think, like the grandfather in that. And he ended up getting a star on the Walk of Fame this summer. So that's why he was like in the news, and he was being interviewed about his career. And one of the things he was being asked about, like the racism that he like faced in his like career in the past. And he was like, you know, they were like, was there anything that, you know, was like really hard for you? And he's like, the one thing that really still stays with me is James Hong was cast in this show called The Adventures of Charlie Chan, and Charlie Chan is the Chinese detective, and so James Hong was cast as the number one son, and J. Carrol Naish was playing Charlie Chan, and of course he was in really bad makeup, and just obviously, you know, it was like it was the kind of roles that J. Carrol Naish played all the time. It was obviously like super offensive, but James Hong said he just missed one line, and then he said that J. Carrol Naish said, this is what he said, "What is this, a school for Chinese actors?" And then he had him fired. And so then James Hong went to J. Carrol Naish afterwards and apologized, and J. Carrol Naish wouldn't forgive him, and he was still fired. And James Hong said, I think he was just very prejudiced.
Wow.
And but he said it's a hurtful thing, and he doesn't talk about it because it just hurts too much. So that's like kind of it's a shitty thing. Like when I heard that, you know, I knew the name J. Carrol Naish, so I read that. I was like, oh, well, that's like kind of fucked up for a guy who made his living off of, you know, kind of taking roles away and playing other you know, ethnicities. It's kind of it's kind of shitty when I see him now. I'm like, what a douche. So just figured I'd give you guys that context now that we've gotten to see the first third of the movie. You know, if he hasn't seemed like a good enough bad guy mad scientist, hopefully, knowing he's a prejudiced douchebag, hopefully that just kicks it over the edge. But we'll see. I mean, he's certainly creepy enough so far, stalking this poor girl. This poor woman, excuse me. She's not a girl, she's a woman. This poor woman.
This poor scientist.
This poor well, yeah, I mean, yeah, his assistant or co-scientist or whoever the woman is helping him out, I feel bad for her. So yeah, we'll see what drama's about to come of this and what havoc the acromegaly is about to wreak. I'm determined to say that word right every time, but it's very difficult to say acromegaly because it's just not a word that I'm used to saying. It's a weird word. Acromegaly. Acromegaly. Yeah. So we're gonna learn more about acromegaly and all the other drama when we get into the exciting middle of The Monster Maker right now. I'm also trying to make sure I say Monster Maker and not Mad Mon. I can't. It's just always in my head.
Have you finished?
Yes, I did exactly what you told me. Why are you working on a formula X54? I thought you were satisfied with X53.
Not quite. I have succeeded with X53 in arresting the disease acromegaly, but it will do no more than hold it in check. Come, I will show you.
I will show you.
What is it? What? A dog? Or what is that? A calf?
You will recall that after I injected him with the disease, he was allowed to proceed to this stage. Enlargement of the head, feet, and so forth.
What the fuck?
But from the moment I gave him an injection of X53,
X53, baby.
Condition. Neither progressive nor retrogressive. I have every reason to hope that this new formula will prove to be a complete cure for the disease.
Yep.
Think what it will mean to have the power to control a dread disease like acromegaly. The only living man who has such power.
And why are you the only living man to have such power?
You know why.
Yes, I do. But you're not even a doctor. You stole the name and laboratory notes from the man you killed.
He deserved to die. And his death made it possible for me to escape from Europe as the real Dr. Markoff.
And reap the rewards earned by another man with years of work and study.
What I took from him was small repayment for what he tried to take from me. The love of Lenore, my wife, the woman I worshipped. But his love cooled as I knew it would when he looked at her beautiful face and saw the ravages of the hideous disease acromegaly.
She looks positively shocked.
You deliberately inoculate her with that dread disease.
I did. I was determined that no other man should try to take her from me. I knew if you were no longer beautiful, no one else would want her. Then I would have her all for myself.
Oh my God! What a fucking madman!
She could not stand the sight of her own face, so she killed herself.
So he killed his wife's lover and injected her with acromegaly, and then she killed herself.
I'm getting out of here. I'm going to find her.
And he's not even a real scientist.
He's not even a real scientist.
That's the worst part.
Oh, hey, where'd you get your degree, Mr. Monster Maker?
Stay there.
Oh, shit.
Good to have you back again, Mother Spot.
Glad to be back once more, Pat.
How much do you think he's charging them for this concert?
I do wish you didn't have to
this
spend
private
lunchtime
concert.
out of town.
If I didn't, your father would probably get himself a new business manager. You know, it's chiefly on his business I'm away so much.
Oh, he's the business manager.
Here's my proposal. I'm gonna hang out with you guys, but I'm gonna play on my piano.
I'm gonna third wheel it, but just pretend like I'm not here. I'm just over here playing my piano. I can't hear anything that you're saying.
He seems to have so much energy. He just can't.
The $100 an hour.
Let's hope it keeps up.
But it can't, Father. Do you realize that he's up at 6 every morning? That he walks practically all day long? That I can't get him to go to bed at night? Sometimes I awaken at 2 or 3 in the morning. He's still playing his piano.
Jesus.
It's not normal.
God.
Keep playing.
I got that carpal tunnel. So I believe these hands are of the composer, the guy who wrote the score for the movie. And this was his first gig. So he like wrote the music and he's doubling for the hands right here.
He's a hand double.
Yeah, hand double. Albert Glasser.
Pat, come here. You too, Bob. Doesn't it look as if my fingers were thicker?
Well, your hands are swollen.
Well, the fingers are anyway. I feel awkward.
When did you notice that?
Past few days, I felt something coming on. My feet, too, seem enlarged. All my shoes feel tight.
Do you suppose you've eaten something that poisoned you?
Oh, no. I'd know it if I had.
He said if you felt bad...
Have you been eating any poison?
Doctor.
Who said?
Dr. Markoff.
Might be poison.
You mentioned
When was that?
That day you went to see him about a social matter.
Oh, rubbish. Why should I see a doctor when I never felt better in my life?
That's right, I had a big bowl of poison for breakfast.
You'll see Dr. Adams at 1. Let me call him now.
Nonsense. There's nothing the matter with me, really. I'll tell you what I'll do. If this condition doesn't clear up by tomorrow, I'll drop in to see Dr. Adams just to put your mind at ease.
But you won't go.
I'll drop in.
Why don't you let me call him now?
Because it isn't urgent. Anyway, right now, I feel like going out for a walk.
Some doctor you could just drop in.
Help it. I feel restless and full of energy.
What do you make of it, Bob?
Oh, perhaps some minor upset. But I would have him checked over by Dr. Adams.
And how are you feeling today, Mr. Lawrence? Physically, extremely well. And your appetite? Still increasing. Mr. Lawrence, after studying all the results of your laboratory tests, X-rays, metabolism records, I have reached a conclusion. But not being satisfied with my own diagnosis alone, I called into consultation Dr. Kruger and Dr. Naylor, whose reputation, of course, you know.
Certainly.
And they, without any hint from me, both came to the same conclusion. Acromegaly.
Acromegaly.
It's a very rare disease, glandular in origin, activated by a defective pituitary. Doctor, can't you tell me in plain English what's wrong with me and how
Plain English.
I'm trying to tell you. You have a
Frank Reynolds over here.
Give it to me straight, Doc.
Give it to me in plain English.
Science knows little about it as yet. Is it fatal? Fatal? Well, not necessarily. It's a progressive disease. Enlarges the extremity. It's accompanied by an increasing amount of energy to a fabulous and dangerous degree. Is it curable? Mr. Lawrence, there is but one man, to my knowledge, who knows anything important about acromegaly. He's a specialist in glandular disorders, and I understand has devoted a great deal of research to this particular disease. I urgently suggest that you consult this man, who is in a position to do more for you than any person in the profession. Who is it? Dr. Igor Markoff.
Ah, of course.
Dr. Markoff? Yes. Do you know him? Yes. Strange you didn't think to consult him. I just met him socially. I don't know him socially, But his name ranks among the top names in the profession. His reputation is international. So he is, therefore, the man that you should see, Mr. Lawrence.
You want the best, don't you?
Markoff. Isn't there anybody else I can consult? No.
He's like, no, not
He's
really.
the only man I know that can help you. He's not seen fit as yet to give out his findings or his method of treatment to the profession. So, therefore, if you're to be helped, you must go to him.
It's like he doesn't want to face academic scrutiny. I wonder what he's afraid of.
Nothing effective. Well, thank you for your frankness. You will see him. I'll think it over.
You will.
I'll check it over.
Hello, Stack. Is Miss Lawrence in?
Well, how do you do, Mr. Blake? I tell Miss Lawrence you're here.
Bob, darling, I'm so glad you're back.
We're going to wait 4 weeks. How are you, sweetheart?
I'm so worried.
About what?
About Father.
What's he been up to now?
That's just it, Bob. I don't know. He's locked himself in his room for weeks. He hasn't allowed anybody in to see him. Stack takes his meals into him, but he has to leave the tray in the music room. He says the door into the bedroom is locked, and that Father won't come out until after he's left.
Is he in there now?
Yes, but the door from the music room into his suite is locked from the inside.
He sounds an excellent fellow.
He hasn't touched the door in weeks.
Oh shit.
Take her out of here, Blake. Take her out of here, quick. Oh, Stack. Have William bring my car down to the side entrance immediately and leave it there. I'll drive it myself. No.
You can't drive in that condition.
Molly. Easy, darling. You fainted.
Bob, did you see what I saw?
What are you talking about?
Did you see his face? His head was so large.
It's your imagination, darling. The lights in there were strange, that's all.
No, Bob, no.
You were just seeing things.
Maxine, she was in my waiting room.
Ooh, I like that shot.
Maxine, are you there? Maxine!
Where is Maxine?
Maxine! Maxine!
She's nowhere to be seen.
What the fuck?
Oh, the invisible man's walking in.
Oh yeah, look at him. Now you see him. Now you don't.
Lawrence. Yes, Markoff. Weren't you expecting me?
Oh my God.
You knew I had to come to you sooner or later. To you, the one man with experience concerning the hideous disease of acromegaly.
Oh.
You had it cunningly worked out, Markoff. So I would be forced to come to you alone for help. Then you would be in a position to dictate take your own terms in exchange for that help. Terms which no doubt would involve my daughter Patricia. Oh, you were clever, Markoff. Exceedingly clever.
Clever.
As the only man with sufficient knowledge of the disease, not only to alleviate it, but to infect a person with it, you hold a decided advantage. So you see, Markoff, I know you infected me with something that caused acromegaly.
I know it was you, bitch.
How you made the disease develop so rapidly, when science has proven that it takes years to reach this stage. I do not know.
Jeez.
But you did. And now, Markoff, I come to you as you knew I must, to make terms. Yes, I've come to make terms.
No, Lawrence, you overestimate my control of the disease. I've made an extensive study of it. Yes, that is true. But after all, I am only an apprentice.
Yes, the devil's apprentice.
The devil's apprentice.
You have set yourself up as a Frankenstein and created a monster.
Oh, come
I
on.
am that monster.
You gotta say it right.
You remember, a monster destroyed the man.
If you're gonna say it.
You've created a monster. You are the man who makes monsters.
That is what I'm going to do to you, Markoff.
Did you hear what he called him?
Good work, Steve. Put him on that chair.
What did he say?
He called him a Frankenstein.
Oh my god.
Is that what he said?
Yes, he said Frankenstein.
I'm sorry.
Come on, if you're gonna say Frankenstein, say
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. My
He
goodness.
doesn't want to be disturbed.
Oh.
Oh, not tonight, Pat, please. In the morning, perhaps. I'll tell you what. I've got to see him in the morning on some business. And as soon as I've finished, I'll send for you. How's that?
Well, make it early. I can't have this hanging over my head.
I know, dear, and I'll make it just as early as I can. Now, how about getting some rest for yourself? You look exhausted.
Oh, I suppose I do, but I can't.
I gotta cut your father's next record deal, baby. I'll be back in a week.
Alone. Sleep well.
I'll try. Good night.
Good night. Oh, Stack.
Stack?
Stack, have you got a key to the music room? My notes there. Well, it's locked, and I wanted to see
Terrible
what's
butler name.
That's my boy Stack.
My boy Stack.
About a half an hour ago, he had his car brought around and listened to
This dude's stacked.
Not the slightest idea, sir. I didn't see him, but Williams.
Oh, my butler, he's stacked.
Oh. Stack, I wish you'd bring me at home when he comes in. Well, no. If he comes in soon, you might ring me. Otherwise, go to bed. I'll see him in the morning. Very good, sir. Good night,
Yeah,
Stack.
bro,
Good
he's
night.
stacked up.
Huh.
How could you be so inhuman as to infect him with that disease in order to bargain for his daughter?
Who gave you that idea?
You left the dictograph open. I heard every word that was said.
Forget what you heard. It does not concern you.
I'll not forget. If you don't give up that insane idea of marrying Patricia Lawrence,
I'll not forget.
I'll tell the truth about you.
You would not dare.
Oh, yes, I would.
Do it.
Does this mean that I have completely lost your loyalty?
You speak of loyalty. You don't even know the meaning of the word. You seem to forget all the things I've done for you. I've even
You
risked my
ain't
life for you,
loyal?
hoping that you might realize how much I love you, that someday you might return
You
the
can't
love.
even spell
No.
loyal.
All I need for you is just someone to help you attain your own selfish aims. I'm tired of it. I can't stand it any longer. Do you hear me? I can't stand it. I'll never let you marry that girl. Never. Never, never, never.
Ah.
Ever.
Maxine, you heard nothing.
Get a hold of
You heard
yourself.
nothing. You
You heard nothing.
You're not Bela Lugosi. You can't hypnotize people. How many times do we have to tell you?
Locking door. It's literally almost here. I think that's it. You don't think so? Okay. Oh, it's this one right here when she locks this door.
He's got the
This
Megley
68.
hand.
You got it.
He got it.
Seductive. Your audio's gone.
Ah, thank you, S-Sync. Womp womp womp. You gotta love the silent monologue. The silent monologue is the best. Basically, quick summary of my silent monologue was. It was basically.
Here it's getting into miming.
Yeah, I'm just. Yeah, no, the whole rest of the episode is in mime.
We're gonna have dialogue cards every time he says something.
Right. No. So again, Universal, popular horror studio at the time, used acromegaly as a plot line. They had an actor, Rondo Hatton, who actually had the disease. It's a disease that is developed later in life. I read on Wikipedia, which I don't know if that's a trustworthy source, but they said if a younger person has it, then they call that giganticism. But if it happens to somebody later in life, that's acromegaly. There's, I guess, a difference, but it's not genetic.
Interesting.
They said it's not genetic. It's just something. It's caused by a tumor, around the pituitary area. It's a benign tumor, but it causes excess GH. And so this actor Rondo Hatton had this disease.
It's not a tumor.
Oh my gosh. But
not a tumor.
Got very, very good. You love the kindergarten cop Arnold
As
reference.
Arnold would say.
It's great.
It's not a tumor.
Well, if you're not going to use the Arnold voice, then come on now. It's not a tumor.
Have you seen the Family Guy bit when they make him do it with a normal voice?
Yeah, it's not a tumor. It's great.
It's like, it's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. So it's basically a tumor that causes this this disease, and so Rondo Hatton, like, he didn't develop it until later in life, but when he did, he got into acting, and Universal was like, oh, this guy looks perfect to star in horror movies as a scary looking guy. And so they kind of used his disease in a little bit of an unsavory way. And in the movies that he was in for them, it was part of the plot. Acromegaly was part of the plot line for most of his characters, so it was kind of baked in. And so that's one of the trailers that we're gonna see during this break is for one of the movies that he did for Universal. I think it's Jungle Woman, and he plays like a henchman named like Moloch or something like that. I don't know, something crazy. And you'll get to kind of see what a real person with acromegaly looks like. I think it's good to have that reference. And also it's a horror movie, so there's some crossover. So you'll get to see that trailer. We'll also get to see another J. Carrol Naish trailer. Boo. But we gotta fill out these breaks somehow. So we got a trailer for The Beast with Five Fingers, which also has Peter Lorre in it, and it's about like a killer hand or something like that. I haven't seen it, but it looks fun. And there's also like a piano like playing element to it, which is kind of an interesting. Again, there was kind of a horror movie trope that this had been done in other movies, and it was done in movies afterwards. And so we'll see a trailer for one of those, The Beast with Five Fingers. And J. Carrol Naish, fucking that guy. I was going to show the trailer for Dracula versus Frankenstein. We've seen that a bunch of times, but he plays Dr. Frankenstein in that, and apparently that was a nightmare experience. He was mean to everybody, and his dentures were chattering and messing up the audio, and it was like you can hear it when you watch the movie. You can hear like a kind of like a rattling. And apparently it's his dentures clicking when he speaks. And he had to have cue cards so you can see, and he had like a glass eye. So like you can see him like reading these cue cards. It's horrible. But this was a 70s low budget movie, like a drive-in movie that he did for the money, and he was just apparently really kind of unpleasant to be around, and like was just kind of like, this was better, or Poverty Row was better than what I'm doing right now. Like, this is he just kind of discounted where he was and what he was doing, but I guess he needed the money, so he was just kind of a douche. So we get another douchebag trailer and a Rondo Hatton trailer, so you get a little idea of what acromegaly actually looks like. So we're going to have these trailers, and then when we come back, we're going to get into the exciting conclusion of The Monster Maker. So stick around. We will be right back.
Piano, long silent, mysteriously plays again. Its weird and ominous chords filling a bedeviled house with stark terror. A concerto of death, macabre music of a dead man. played by a hand that returned from the grave to wreak vengeance on his betrayers, marking each for murder as it strikes with inhuman power. A horrifying monster that takes its evil commands from beyond, that cannot return to the tomb till it completes its mission of destruction.
Hillary, listen, listen. Can you hear it? The piano. It's the hand playing. It's the hand. You were right all the time. It was Ingram's hand that committed murder.
I found fingerprints of identical pattern in the library, in the hall, even on the window pane in your room, Signorina.
You mean the same hand?
I heard what they said in the garden. I couldn't help but hear.
It's a lie. You're lying.
I'm not a liar. But you are a coward. You don't want to hear the truth.
Let's get away from here, Bruce. We're not under arrest. What can they do if we just disappear?
Wait a minute. I gotta check with the police first.
Police?
Yeah, it's the law.
Where are you keeping the ape woman?
Right over here. You want to see her?
Yeah. It's Fred.
Now, please let me out of here.
Anne, I need you.
What do you mean?
I need your blood.
All right, so that
Jungle
was
Captive.
yeah, it was Jungle Captive, not Jungle Woman. So that Universal made a couple Ape Woman movies at this time, and that was Captive Woman. And even J. Carrol Naish, I couldn't find a trailer for it, but even J. Carrol Naish did one of the Ape Woman movies, like right after tonight's film. But so there was a couple shots of Rondo Hatton in that. I don't know if you guys caught those or saw kind of some of his facial features, but that's what acromegaly actually looks like. And Universal, you know, as much as they were known for their gruesome makeups, again, had no problem taking this guy who had an actual disease that was like causing his facial features to enlarge and saying, oh, you would make a great brute, a great henchman.
Man, you
brute.
look fucked up, dude.
And they said, ew, when he walked in the room.
Right.
Give this man a job.
Well, so they ended up, they gave him a job. They gave him a series of movies, and he played a character called the Creeper. And so I don't think that's necessarily where like the Scooby-Doo character came from, but that was, you know, Rondo Hatton's character that he played in a couple movies. He played a character called the Creeper. But unfortunately, he died in 1946 of his, you know, complications from his disease, because with acromegaly, there's all these other side effects and complications. And I mean, that was the thing that apparently during the shooting of Hatton's last movie, his condition was like rapidly deteriorating, and he died not long after it was completed. That movie was it was produced by Universal, and it's called The Brute Man, and it actually incorporates parts of Rondo Hatton's life story in the movie. But because he died, Universal had a change of heart about releasing it, so they sold it. And guess who they sold it to? The makers of tonight's movie.
Who?
The makers of tonight's movie. PRC. Producers Releasing Corporation. They
Monster Maker makers.
The Monster Maker
Yeah,
makers.
the monster
That's
makers.
right. The Universal sold it off to them.
Yeah, from the makers of Monster Makers.
From the makers of Monster Makers. The Brute Man. And yeah, I mean
the makers of Monster Makers.
Universal did literally everything.
It was the best of makers. It was the worst of makers.
It really was. I mean, pretty much the worst. Mostly the worst. But yeah, it's kind of I can see why Universal didn't want to put it out. It's a little bit of a, I mean, knowing about Rondo Hatton's life story and what was like happening with him at the time, it's kind of like, it's kind of, you know, it's a little distasteful. It's a little uncouth, but I think you know, PRC had no problem doing it, and I don't know if they made a profit from it, but clearly acromegaly was not a problem for them. They had no problem making money off of acromegaly. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But now, you know, Rondo Hatton, he's kind of championed in the horror community. There's a whole set of horror awards called the Rondo Hatton Awards, which, you know, one of these days we could get there. We could get to the point of being maybe nominated for a Rondo.
You're gunning for a Rondo?
We could get a Rondo. We could be nominated. Well, I'm not saying we could get a Rondo. We could be nominated for a Rondo. We certainly, I think, check
really
all the
aiming
boxes.
high.
I mean, well, the site that kind of like
We wouldn't get it, but we could be
does a lot of that
nominated.
stuff, I went to post on today, and it's like, it was down. It says, oh, this page doesn't exist. It's been around since like the 90s. It's a message board that's been around forever for classic horror movie fans. And I don't know. I hope it's okay. But yeah, I went to post on it today and it was down. And yeah, but they are the ones that kind of facilitate the voting on the Rondo Awards. But there's like a whole there's statues that are like given out that are Rondo Hatton's face that were sculpted by Rick Baker, who's like a Oscar-winning makeup guy who there's a movie called The Rocketeer that he did the makeup for, and he made prosthetics for a guy to look just like Rondo Hatton, like a henchman of the bad guy. And you know, so Rondo Hatton gets some shout outs. So acromegaly be damned, he made it happen. He achieved immortality. That's, you know, say what you will about these horror movies, especially when they came out, but people have championed them through time and found the things to appreciate, and that's what we're giving you a little taste of here tonight. So before we get into the exciting third act, what are we thinking, boys, as far as the finale goes? What do you think we're in store for? We've seen a good number of these Poverty Row movies now to kind of make some assumptions about how the climax could or could not go, I think. You know, certainly we've had...
My money is still on that they're going to wake up and it's all going to be a dream.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah. I had the strangest dream.
Well,
The credits roll.
There was a gorilla, and you were there, and you were there.
It would certainly be fitting, considering that the guy with acromegaly, see, I said it wrong right there. Acromegaly is the brother of the Wizard of Oz.
There you go.
There it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, might as well be the ending of the Wizard of Oz. They're like, hey, your brother was in the Wizard of Oz, right? Let's just use that ending. That'll be perfect. And
we could do something with that.
He said, God damn it.
Yeah, maybe
I'm
we
not
could do
my
something like
brother.
that.
I don't have any association with the Wizard of Oz. Quit asking me about it. I have nothing.
I'm not a wizard. I've already told you.
I'm not the wizard.
He's billed as the brother of the guy from Wizard of Oz.
I'm not the wizard. I'm not the gatekeeper. I'm not Professor Marvel. I'm not the cabbie driver. I'm none of the four people. That's all my brother. Leave me alone. Tough life for.
Who are you?
See, I have to even look at the sheet to make sure that I say his name right, not his brother's name. Ralph Morgan. His brother's Frank Morgan. This is Ralph Morgan. So Ralph Morgan's
I thought his brother was Arthur Morgan.
Yep, that's right. Arthur Morgan. Yeah. God damn it. You gotta get those game references in there. That's the only thing that keeps us modern. I'm over here with all my 70-year-old facts. So thank God we've got some modern references to keep people engaged. All right, well, we'll see if that checks out, this dream ending. All right, anything else before we get into it, boys?
I got nothing.
All right, then we are going to get into the exciting conclusion of The Monster Maker right now.
I like that he's creeping, but he won't stop smoking.
Well, you know, you gotta make it cool. He's a cool creep. Smoking
She's gonna smell the cigarettes.
Yeah, she'll smell them before she sees them.
Smoking Cool brand cigarettes. A pack of Cools.
This film brought to you by Cool Menthol 100s. Bam, 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 bam. He looks out her window and he's just sitting there billowing smoke.
Puffing away. So this dog actually has a name. Ace the Wonder Dog. Credited as himself
That could
here.
be his name. He sure hasn't done much.
It's an ironic name. Like, this dog is useless, bro. Hey, I know. Hey, Ace.
He was RKO's answer to Rin Tin Tin.
Bullying this dog.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, this dog was in movies from 1938 to 1946. So this was on the tail end of his
quite
career.
a career for a dog.
He's just vibing in this. He's riding it out.
Yeah. Look, he's almost to retirement.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can draw it out once you're 55 and a half, Ace. We've told you this.
He worked for RKO, Republic, Columbia, Monogram, and PRC. So, I mean, he was all over the place. Ace the Wonder Dog.
Damn. Always chasing that dollar.
Yep. Yeah, that's such a weird, like, what do you call that? A vanity? What do you call that, like, kind of weird dresser setup?
Strange vanity.
It is.
It is kind of a strange vanity.
Strange vanity. That sounds like a romance novel.
It does.
Strange vanity.
It's about Narcissus. He falls in love with his own reflection.
He rides up on a horse and sees his reflection in the water and falls in love with himself.
Right. Yeah, I don't think, has anyone done that before, romance novels? Somebody falling in love with themselves?
Nope, I don't think so. Of course, let the thing out. So you know who's in the gorilla costume?
How did they get the gorilla to do all this?
You know who's in this costume? Ray Crash Corrigan, who we talked about earlier this week when we saw the trailer for Undersea Kingdom.
Oh.
And he played so many ape roles, it's not even more than any other person that has played an ape in anything we've seen so far.
Oh, so he aped professionally?
He was an ape in The Ape, Dr. Renault's Secret, and some Tarzan movies, and Bela Lugosi Meets the Brooklyn Gorilla. Like, for decades he played an ape. From the 30s, the 40s, the 50s.
He was a serial apist.
For 30 years, Ray Crash Corrigan was a serial apist, yes.
Dear God, no.
Yeah. God. Should have said it.
What a cool job. You don't really even have to act.
No. I love when they do.
Show any emotion.
People love doing the silhouette.
You just have to be able to move like a gorilla.
Silhouette gorilla stuff is, you know, at this point it was kind of tropey, but it's cool.
You're not gonna get a lot of mileage out of the suit.
No, he did.
Yeah,
he
right.
wore that suit for like.
Looks bad.
That one suit at least 10 years.
No, but I mean the silhouette looks better than the suit.
Oh, you're 100% right. Yeah, absolutely.
The silhouette stuff became such a thing.
Yeah, it's a good point. That's probably why. I mean, it was Murders on the Rue Morgue, a Lugosi movie that really played that up, and then it was kind of a thing after that.
What a trendsetter.
Well, you know, that's Lugosi for
Good
you.
morning, Doctor. The murder's cage was left unlocked last night.
No, really?
He's a vampire. Now everybody wants to be a vampire.
Ace hadn't heard me scream and driven him back again to the cage.
Oh, well, you are very fortunate.
Sorry.
So am I. I could have lost a valuable assistant.
Except for a certain
I
candidate.
suppose the attendant was careless. I shall discharge him immediately.
Oh,
He wants to
boom
be a
shadow,
werewolf.
boom shadow. Oh, nice. That was great.
It's wrong.
We saw it. The movie's ruined now.
The illusion is broken.
Maxine is madness. Maxine,
I don't even believe this
great.
anymore.
Do you know what it means? It means that I can ask my own price. I can. Yes.
Wait, you mean this isn't real?
Oh, by the way, Maxine, I have a
No, this is not a
prescription I want filled at handcuff.
Contrary to popular
You will
belief.
go and see to it yourself, personally.
Couldn't it be ordered over the phone?
If I wanted it that way, I would have said so.
Very well.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much of the titular monster, have we?
No, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, we've seen more gorilla.
Yeah, we got a little bit of ape action.
Who's the real monster here, bro? What's going on?
A
They're just monkeying around.
Have you taken my father's breakfast into him yet?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? Why not?
Well, as a matter of fact, your father isn't in.
Morning, Stack.
Where did he go?
I don't know. He didn't say.
When did he go?
Hey, shit, Stack.
Sometime last night.
Last night?
Hey, shit.
You
Oh
mean
my
he's been
god.
away all night and left no word?
Absolutely none.
I'll get it. Hello? Yes, Miss Lawrence speaking.
Go get it.
This is Dr. Markoff. Now, please don't be alarmed, but your father came to me last night for a consultation.
Father came to you last night for a consultation?
Yes.
Thanks
I
for
found it advisable to
repeating
take him in for
that. That was, you know,
How is he?
Well, he's quite comfortable now.
we needed that.
Yes, quite comfortable, Miss Lawrence, I assure you.
I'll be right over and pick him up and bring him home.
I would strongly advise...
Your father came
against
to me
taking
for
him
a
home, Miss
consultation. My father came to you for a
I can't leave him
consultation.
there. Do you think I should take him to a hospital?
I suggest you leave him right where he is, Miss Lawrence. You see, I have all the facilities here to take care of him in my sanatorium.
Oh, I didn't know you had a sanatorium too. I'll be right there.
Is there any difference between a sanatorium and a
I'm
sanitarium?
going to Dr. Markoff's. 1335 Cliff Drive.
Dr. Markoff's 1335 Cliff Drive.
Yes.
Very well.
Good question. I don't think so. I think it's the same thing.
I
That's
have
where
a
they store all the janitor
GPS in my
supplies.
head, madam. We're on the way. Calculating route. Calculating route. Oh, Stack. You're you're so multifaceted.
Lawrence, I want you to try hard to understand what I'm saying. Try hard. This is Dr. Markoff. I can save you, Lawrence.
It's all
I
a
can cure
dream.
you.
Just wake up.
Will you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. Remember that I am the only one that can cure you, and I will cure you on one condition. A very simple condition, Lawrence. Your daughter is on her way over here now. I want you to persuade her to be very agreeable to me. You can convince her that it is you she is coming to see. You can tell her that I am helping you. That is a very little thing to ask for your cure. Very well.
Yeah.
Hulk smash.
You guys in here?
What?
Dr. Markoff, please.
Come in.
Dun, 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 dun.
Markoff wants you to wait
He
in
says
there.
come in after she's already in. What kind of games are you playing here?
Come in. Well, I'm already in.
Come in. I am.
Maybe it was like a snarky, like, well, come right in then, I guess.
Glenn Strange playing the snarky assistant.
Well, just make yourself a home, why don't you?
Yeah, the credits list him as giant. They should have put passive aggressive giant.
That's correct, sir. I do not have to cure you, Lawrence.
That's correct. Thank you, Stack.
Because nobody knows I have discovered the cure.
Miss Lawrence is here.
Tucking you in.
I have the cure. It's called the gun in my pocket.
Well, that was his wife's cure. Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
Miss Lawrence.
Great cut. Great cut.
Dr. Markoff, how is my father?
He's resting comfortably.
Please be frank with me. What's the matter with him?
It is a glandular ailment.
How serious is it?
My name's not Frank, it's Igor.
It is quite serious, particularly in your father's case.
Why particularly so in his case, Dr. Markoff?
Well, you see, the peculiar disease your father is suffering from causes extreme enlargement of the extremities, the hands, feet, and certain portions of the head. In a professional pianist, it is fatal. That is to the continuance of his career, I mean. Not only are his fingers incapacitated for the intricacies of delicate performance, but his very appearance, upon which so much depends for public approval, is most uninviting.
Dr. Markoff, how does it happen my father came to you?
I think you will find that your Dr. Adams sent him to me.
Dr. Adams?
Yes.
Doc Adams?
Dr. Adams made exhaustive tests, and in consultation with several eminent colleagues of his, diagnosed your father's case, and correctly so, as acromegaly.
Acromegaly? I never heard of it.
If you have, it is very rare. And since glandular disturbances
acromegaly.
Acromegaly, my particular interest, your father was advised to consult me.
With what results?
It's like, I've never heard of it. And he's like, well, I have a jar of it right here if you want to see.
Take
a sample.
Do you anticipate any lack of cooperation on his part, Dr. Markoff?
Perhaps some. You see, Miss Lawrence, it is rather long.
Say it
right. Out a jar of pure, uncut acromegaly.
Colombian acromegaly, right here in this jar. Pure Colombian.
Function more normally. You see, Miss Lawrence, your father is mentally incompetent.
You mean he's...
Oh, well, shall we say, temporarily unbalanced mentally. The functioning of the pituitary, being aggravated by pressure, makes the patient physically violent on occasion, and great care must be taken that he does not do violence to himself or to others.
I must see my father.
I can easily understand your need to do so, Miss Lawrence. I would gladly save you the pain if I could. But I know you will not be satisfied unless you do see him for yourself. Besides, it will give you a basis for comparison. It will give you new hope from day to day as you see him improve.
Where is he? Take me to him.
In a moment. But remember, although he is still under a sedative, he might easily be aroused to violence. I will advise not to excite him, merely to reassure him that he will receive the very best of care. That you
don't excite him, no surprise parties. We don't know.
Everything possible to
we don't want any kind of like concerts to cheer him up. We don't need a benefit concert or anything. Just let's keep this casual.
You know what to do. Remember, Miss Lawrence, advise your father. Fullest cooperation in every way possible.
Uh-oh. Sorry. See, I tucked him in nice and tight.
Dr. Markoff said so.
Oh, shit. She's too, involved in her own drama to notice that scream, I guess. Is that what that was?
You're going to be all right. Dr. Markoff said so.
I'm sure it was nothing.
Yes. It's going to cure you, he and I.
Markoff!
Is this the Elephant Man?
Dr. Markoff, why did you stand down?
It is kind, some similar themes, I think.
Take him off, I say. Take him off at once.
The 40s Elephant Man.
I don't care what you say. You can't treat him like a wild animal.
That's a very different disease.
If he were to become violent, he would be extremely dangerous.
Joe, what you say? You can't
Oh my
keep him like a wild
God.
animal.
His recovery depends solely on you.
What do you mean?
I will cure your father when you decide to become my wife.
Let go of me. I'll never marry you.
Never is a long time. Some people do change their minds.
Look at this very real front of a house. Got him.
Is he all right?
Yes, he's just fainted.
Yes, it was just a dream. Ah.
Dr. Markoff was the only man who could cure dead. With him dead, there's not much hope left.
Oh, yes, there is, Miss Lawrence. I'm familiar with the serum Dr. Markoff has perfected for the cure. He has been using it to bargain with your father for you. He'll be all right. It might take a little while, but he'll be all right.
Thank you.
Just a little while. I feel like it might take a little longer than that. That was, a little anticlimactic. Hey, buy your war bonds, people.
Don't forget.
Don't forget, that's what it's all about. Please, buy your war bonds. If you learn nothing else,
tip your waiter, buy your war bonds.
Please buy your war bonds, for the love of God. Yeah, so that was the Monster Maker. So what do we make of that, boys?
To be honest, I think I've missed. I've got a head full of like cold medicine, so I have no idea what this movie is about.
That makes sense. That tracks. That adds up.
I'm kind of in the same boat, but not for the same reason, I don't think.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right. Well, you know, it's not yeah. You know, the Mad Monster ended with a fire and like a whole big climactic thing. You know, some of these movies have a nice, I think Dead Men Walk also fire. When the bad guy just gets shot, and then the monster gets monsterfied, it just kind of, it almost is like, and it was all a dream, you know? I mean, it ended how it started.
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but yeah, it was. It's like you're watching a sitcom where nothing actually changes.
Right. No, definitely not bad, but yeah, I mean, it's not
like a sitcom episode.
Pretty much. I mean, pretty one-dimensional as far as this mad scientist wants this girl, and he decides to poison her father so he can, leverage her into marrying him. It's very, the book kind of brought up the point. It's very melodramatic, like very kind of old school, almost like silent movie kind of like villain type of thing.
Yeah.
And there's not really like her boyfriend is not really like a hero per se, he didn't do anything. He was just around. So that's
yeah, it's a little one-dimensional.
Definitely one-dimensional, but I think, again, the fact that Frankenstein was mentioned in this by name, I think this was PRC's kind of their strange version of a Frankenstein type story of a mad scientist who kind of uses science for his own, selfish means, and then kind of creates a monster and then pays for it in the end. I don't know. It's, again, they made a wolf.
This is an anti-science movie.
Anti-science movie. Well, he's not even a real scientist, remember? He killed a real scientist and then is pretending to be that person. So that's a whole ethical minefield of, that's why he can't take his acromegaly cure to the official, like, he can't take it to the journals and to the universities, because if they actually dug into his background, they would figure out he's just a fucking murderer. He also gave his wife acromegaly, and then she killed herself. So, he's just a douche. But, yeah. So that was the Monster Maker.
He's doing what needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's very dark. The whole movie, it's more. It's just kind of a like grimmer kind. Again, I think mean-spirited is certainly a way to kind of put it. It's just kind of, I don't know. There's just something about it that's just kind of like, not seedy isn't the word, but it's, it's a real disease. It's, I don't know. It is what it is. But next week, what did I say next week? Why did I say that? Because we're not going to be here next week. We're taking next week off.
Next time,
we're going to be getting a your good old fashioned classic monster, going back to a werewolf, with a little movie called Moon of the Wolf, which is a 70s TV movie. Which is set in the South, I believe. And it's public domain, and it's, got a werewolf in it. So, we didn't have a werewolf movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have a werewolf movie last season. So I was like, all right, we definitely got to get a werewolf movie in the fold. I actually had a vampire movie queued up originally in the schedule for this week, and then we did just have Last Man on Earth, so I was like, we technically
vampires.
Technically, we've checked the box this season. Let's get a werewolf in the mix. So, and again, it's from the 70s, so a little bit newer in color, so should be fun. But that'll be let's see. I mean, yeah, that's going to be December 2nd. So we're going to be in December by the time we get to our third episode of season 4. but it'll be worth the wait. Nothing like a good old werewolf movie to kick off the holiday season, am I right? Well, I mean, I guess we'll already have Thanksgiving under our belt, so it'll be a good way to cleanse the palate after Thanksgiving and Black Friday and all that good stuff. Whatever holidays you're celebrating between now and the next time that we see you, please have a happy holidays. You know, if you're celebrating Thanksgiving, then, you know, chow down, be thankful.
If you're celebrating Black Friday, then good luck.
Good fucking luck.
Yeah, good luck.
You might as well just do the whole internet shopping thing. Might serve you better. But yeah, I mean, we're kind of this season.
Cyber Monday.
Right, Cyber Monday. That's the you might as well just wait for Cyber Monday. That's probably the smarter thing. But yeah, I mean, it's funny that this season kind of is in the thick of the holiday season, so it's a little more spread out. So we're gonna get our third episode December 2nd, and we'll kind of roll through a couple weeks in December, and then we'll take another break, and eventually we'll get a little steady once we get about midway through. So you can also, before 2 Fridays from now, you can catch us 2 Wednesdays from now for the mini-sode. We're watching chapter 3 of Flash Gordon Conquers the Universe. It's been pretty fun so far. So you see some Star Wars references, you know, fun stuff, enjoyable serials. So you can join us for that. You can go
kind of pre-references.
Pre-references, absolutely, without a doubt. Again, George Lucas just kind of cherry-picked what he liked, and that's how we got Star Wars. Yes, so definitely some pre-references.
The pre-reference.
So, yeah, definitely, you know, get in on that. We're still early in it. There's 12 chapters, so plenty to enjoy still. And again, past episodes are on our YouTube page at Scream Stream Show. That's all of our socials: Instagram, YouTube, or Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Scream Stream Show. You can find Mr. Fresh Rogan on the socials at Fresh Rogan. Can't find Evan anywhere, as we've discussed many times. And I'm also at Spakenstein. Sorry, can't even say my. I mean, if
Spakenstein.
If Twitter even,
that's OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's right. If Twitter even lasts, you know, that was somebody was like, I saw Elon Musk, like, these, you know, his tweets are always news, you know, they always make the news. So I just saw like something, somebody like commented on one of his posts, or commented on something that he saw, that it was like, I mean, I guess he just posted something very flippant, and they were like, there was a funeral for Twitter last night, where were you? And then he just posted like a yawning emoji. What? So, I mean, obviously, like, I don't think Twitter is dead, but yeah, like, so many people last night were like, well, if this is really it with Twitter, like, I've met so many people. Well, some people were upset, some people were remorseful. The emotions were all over the place, but a lot of people were kind of posting farewell messages, and it seems like Twitter's not really going anywhere, but we'll see what happens. Twitter's not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. So you can still follow us and me and Fresh there. And if it sticks around long enough, eventually we'll sway Evan, and we'll get Evan there too.
Get him on the Twitter.
Yeah, we'll get him there if it lasts that long. But we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see if it goes bankrupt first.
Yeah, definitely a possibility within the realm of possibilities for sure. Anything before we sign off for the next couple weeks, boys?
I got nothing.
Happy multiple holidays, I guess. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, happy beginning of the holiday season. Until next time, sweet screams, everybody.
Creep tight.
To all a good fright.